Okay, now let us look at profit center assessment. Profit center assessment is similar to cost center assessment, whereby if we have income which we cannot attribute to any profit centers at the time of posting the source document, we can post a invoice to a general profit center, and then at period end, a month end, we can run the profit center assessment to actually transfer from the source profit center to the destination profit center, the actual profit centers. Okay, that's what I have explained here. When we post the source document, which is FI document, if we don't know which profit center to post it to, then we can post it to a common profit center. Okay, this is just a temporary profit center to store the values until we find out the actual profit center to pass these values on. Then once we found it at the month end, we run the cost center assessment to distribute the amount to the actual profit centers. You can actually transfer to one profit center or many profit centers depending on your requirement. So let us look at profit center assessment for this purpose. You may want to ask, why would you want to use a profit center assessment? Why can't you do a simple transfer to actually transfer the profits? The reason is, by using an assessment, your manual data entry will be reduced, so that you don't have to post a transfer posting from one profit center to another profit center manually. You just, all you have to do is just run the assessment cycle, and the system will take care of what amount to post to which profit center. So it is something like a template assessment. Profit center assessment is something like a template, where you establish a template based on some rules, how much to be distributed to which profit center, and then you run the template at the month end, and the template rules will take care of the actual postings. Okay, once you have understood this concept, let us proceed to do the configuration to create the assessment. First you have to come to profit center accounting under controlling, and then actual posting, and then period end closing, define assessment. But before that, you have to make sure you have created the cost element for assessment, because as you have seen in the cost center assessments, the line items will be written to the destination or receiver profit center using this assessment cost element. Okay, so you have to make sure it is there. Assessment cost elements will have a cost element category of 42. Let me just check whether we have any. We have 4 cost elements. Let us see. I think these two are not the assessment cost element. These are normal cost element. I think the canteen is a assessment cost element. Let me check. F2, F4, F2 presenter already exists. Yes, display the cost element can't really display from here. So alright, let us go to easy menu over here. Out here, display canteen presenter. Yes, you can see the assessment cost element here. So cost element category 42 assessment. So we can use this cost element. Let me work out a real life business example on what we are going to do. Let me save this first. Okay, our real life example for profit center assessment is rental income. I'll explain to you what is the nature of this business transaction. Okay, let me cut this off. remember in our earlier example we have cars and bikes profit center. So we have cars and bikes profit center. Okay, and these two profit centers or sales team, these two sales team are housed in a big showroom. Okay, this is a showroom which is shared by both cars and bike sales team. So on the left hand side, the bike sales team uses this left hand side showroom, and the right hand side, and the car sales team uses the showroom space. So which means that all the bikes, you can imagine something like all the bikes will be located here and all the cars will be located here, and the sales team will have their respective offices at the corner, something like that. Okay, so this is how the showroom is. And let's say there is extra space in the entire showroom, something like this. There's an extra space at the back door, okay, which is rented out. This space is rented out, and therefore you have a monthly rental income rented out for USD 2000 per month. Okay, so in this case we have a rental income of 2000 every month, but this 2000 should be divided into two portions, so that one portion can go to bikes and the other portion can go to cars, because it is not fair to give this and all the $2000 monthly rental income to bikes alone, profit center bikes alone, because this entire showroom is also owned by cars proportionately, car sales team proportionately. So in order to come up with the accurate profit and loss for the bikes and cars profit center, we need to apportion the other incomes, which is a rental income, proportionately to the bikes and the cars profit center. Otherwise your profit and loss will be distorted. So how are we going to share this $2000 monthly income between bikes and cars? That is using profit center assessment. It's a very good example. Let me move it up. Okay, so now we are going to share the monthly rental income 2000 between bikes and cars profit center. But when the tenant pays the monthly rental of 2000 the start of every month, we do not want to distribute to bikes and cars on the spot. We just want to park this entire amount to a common profit center, and then at the month end we will use some rules to divide the $2000 between bikes and cars profit center. So I'm going to show you that. Firstly, we need to create a cost element, so that when we do the assessment, the amount of rental amount can be written to that particular cost element. Let's create one. Rental, I'm here. Just to recap, I'm over here. Let's create a cost element called rental. Enter. Rental income. Cost element category of 42. Assessment. And that's it. Save. Okay, now let's do this. So the cost element has been created. Now we need to post a invoice document. But before that, let me create the assessment first. So define assessment. Oh, sorry, before that we need a common cost and profit center first. So we need to create a profit center. Go here, let's create a profit center. We need a common profit center because this amount will be posted to common cost center, to common profit center. Okay, let's see whether it's loaded. Yes, it's loaded. Let's call it common. Make sure you have entered the controlling area, son. Okay, common. So responsible manager. Profit center group is a standard hierarchy. Okay, I'm going to put under vehicles and assign the company code, both the company codes, Sun and test 2. Okay, activate it. It's activated. Now let us go to define assessment. Now we are good to create assessment, create actual assessment, create a cycle as rental. Let's give it a name, rental income. And remove this. Okay, you need to enter the controlling area. See, it's asking for a controlling area. Enter Sun controlling area. Attach segment rental, or just put segment 1, or just change to rental or rental. Assessment cost element, choose the one that we created just now, the rental. Yep, leave it as it is. Okay, you can leave all the other values as it is, since we are going to assess only the actual value. So just check this, do not check this. Now go to senders and receivers. Senders will be the common profit center, because from common profit center we're going to move it to bikes and cars. Let's choose the common profit center, which is this, and receiver profit center will be bikes and cars. Alright, if you have a long list of profit centers to be allocated, you just use a set. Set is just a profit center group, so you just create a profit center group and then assign the profit center, what you call the profit center group that we have created earlier is available here as well. Sun controlling area, shown here. Controlling area, sun, vehicles, yep, and assign the bikes and cars to that particular profit center group, and you just need to enter the profit center group instead of entering the individual values. You can do that only if you have lots of profit centers as receivers. Okay, otherwise you just enter the individual values and enter values for the version. Okay, you need to enter the version as well, so use version 0, and I'll explain how to use version effectively in a separate chapter. Let's go to receiver tracing factors. Okay, for the receiver tracing factors, we need to create a statistical key figure. Okay, because we're going to assign by the floor space. We're going to assign the rental income by the floor space. So for that we need the statistical key figure. Let's go and create it. I'm going to here, master data, statistical key figure. Okay, come here. You have already seen this, how to create a statistical key figure. Accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, master data, statistical key figure, individual processing, create. Okay, we're going to say FLR space, floor space, stands for floor space, unit of measurement. Hello. Okay, now choose unit of measurement, say square feet. Let's go for square feet. Let me just unit text square. Let me check. No, square. There's no square feet, so let us choose square foot. Okay, square foot, fixed values. Yes. Let us choose total values. Save it. Alright, come here. Let us enter the values for the floor space. Come here, actual posting, statistical key figures, enter. Now receiving cost center is bikes first. Let us enter the floor space for the bikes. Enter bikes, statistical key figure, floor space, the one that we created just now. Should be here. Yeah, and enter the total quantity, which is, let's say, 300 square foot. Okay, then for cars, please enter 700 square foot and save it. Oh no, so we need to enter the profit center here. Just hang on a sec. I made a mistake. Actually, you're not supposed to post the actual floor space under the cost center, because we are Just now we did it in the cost center accounting. Since we are doing the assessment profit center, we need to enter the floor space in the profit center accounting module under actual posting, statistical key figures. However, the master data can be entered anywhere. Just now we entered the master data of statistical key figures in the cost center accounting over here, right? The same thing will also be available in the profit center accounting. Let me show you. We go to profit center, statistical key figures, master data. You can see it there as well. So the profit center can be, the master data can be entered in either cost center module or profit center module, but the actual postings should be entered in the respective module. Only then it will be available in the respective module. So let us come here, profit center accounting, actual posting, statistical key figure, change. Over here, choose layout. The first layout, profit center group, statistical key figure. Okay, and then leave the rest as it is. Execute. Enter from period 1 to period 2. Profit center that we need to enter is bikes and, let me check, bikes and cars. So enter bikes to cars, and the statistical key figure is floor space, so just leave it as it is. And overview screen, go for overview. So we are entering for 2 periods. So for bikes, I'm going to enter 300. Then it will be divided by 2 periods. Let me show you, because equal distribution is on. Equal distribution is 1. Changes to 1, so that the amount that you enter will be equally distributed to all the periods. Then you can select this and check the period values over here. You can see it's 150 allocated for period 1 and period 2, but we need to allocate 300 for each period. So I'm going to change this to 600, so that each period will have 300. This means that in January the floor space allocated to bikes is 300. In February it remains the same, which is 300. Now for cars, I'm going to enter 700,004. So it is 700 and 700 for each period. Okay, so for 2 periods it will be 2000. So for 1 period it will be half of that. Okay, let's save this. Then we are good to use the close this statistical key figures. Let me see, it can be retrieved from here. Yes, good, it can be retrieved from here. It's refreshed, and change this to actual quantities, statistical key figures. Okay, and that's all. No need to change anything here. Let's save this. Now let's execute this cycle, but before that we need to post the FI document first, which is this. We need to post the rental income of 2000 to the common profit center first. Let us do it now. We use February 50. Okay, choose the posting date, and enter the income, which is okay. Let me choose the other income here. Other expenses, I can't find other income. Let me check the description. So we don't have, so let us create a new GL account for other income. Press 00. Let us see Sun company code, and I'm not sure which is the income account. This should be the income account. Let me check this group. Go to SPRO. Go to the GL accounts group screen. So you're not here, over here. Define account group. Go to Sun chart of accounts. Other income should start with 7 series. So copy that. Let's create our first other income. Press enter. Create. Already been created. Let me check. Oh yes. So let us see which is the available one. Forex gains. Okay, choose 2, which is other income. Create and choose other incomes. Other income. Copy that. Other income. Field series group is don't have an income account here. Let me check what the other GL accounts are using, like this one. Okay, they're using revenue field series group. Just copy that and paste it here. Save it. Alright, just copy this, close this, and enter there. Income should be credited, so we post 2000, this rental income here, and debit our bank debited 2000. So the income should be posted to the common profit center. Okay, now let me explain to you why we are using assessment instead of directly posting the respective rental income to the individual profit centers. When the tenant pays us the rental income, if we are not using cost center assessment to actually capture the rental income in a common profit center and then later on distribute, your accounting clerk or whoever the person posting this rental income to accounting module will have to remember the portion that needs to be allocated from this rental income of 2000, which is really cumbersome. Actually, if they can remember the portion to be apportioned to bikes and the cars profit center according to the floor space that they are using, it is very easy. You don't even have to use assessment. You can just enter bikes here and enter the appropriate portion, 300 or whatever, because bikes is using 300 square feet of floor space, square foot. Right, and cars is using 700 square foot. So if your accounting clerk remembers this proportion, the factor that needs to be attributed, or the factor that needs to be used to attribute the rental income of 2000 to the respective profit centers, they can actually derive the figures as and when they are posting the rental income. For example, based on this ratio, 300 to 700, so we have 300 out of 1000 is 300 divided by 1000 is 0.3 times 2000. So $600 should be attributed to bikes, and another, let me copy this, let's enter the due on date and okay, now I copy again. Alright, it's copied. The balance 1004 should be assigned to profit center cars, right? Bikes and cars. The accounting clerk needs to do this as and when he or she posting the rental income to the system. But this is very error prone, because if they forgot to apportion the income, then the income will not be apportioned forever until and unless the chief accountant finds this out, and then they apportion this rental income once again by reversing this document and by reposting. So to avoid all these problems, what we do is that we just tell the accounting clerk to just post any rental income to the common profit center, and at the month end we run the assessment cycle, which is a template to apportion the cost to the respective profit centers. This saves time for the accounting clerk, and also is not error prone, because since we have a list of steps to do at the month end, we can actually remember to do this assessment posting, so that the apportioning of the rental income is done accurately by the system. Alright, it's a lot more easier for the accounting department to actually accumulate a list of steps to be executed in the month end, rather than doing these kind of steps as and when you post a document. That's a basic logic behind this process. Now let us delete this. I'm not going to apportion as and when I receive the rental income. Instead of that, I will post it to a common profit center, and then let the cost center assessment to take care of it. come here, common, simulate. Okay, we can post it now. Okay, it's posted. Now we are ready to run the cycle, profit center assessment cycle, so that the amount of 2000 will be moved from the common profit center to the respective bikes based on the floor spacing. Okay, let's go. Come to actual postings, period and closing, assessment, profit center accounting, which is under controlling, actual posting, period and closing, assessment. Now choose the period that we're going to assess. It's always month to month, so choose rental income, so rental cycle. Choose test run first to see if there's any problem. Execute. Okay, we have some error messages. There are no receivers. Let us see why. This contains no data. Sender is selected. Yes, 2000 common from the common profit center. Let me see why there's no. Click on the warning. No receivers. Why is it so? Let me check why. Okay, I think I know the reason. The reason is because since we have activated the new GL under the ECC 6.0, we have to actually enter the statistical key figure values in FI and not under profit center accounting. So let us try that. We go to financial accounting general ledger, statistical key figures. Alright, we need to enter the statistical key figures of the floor spacing over here. Let us try that. Choose the profit center bikes and enter 300, and cars, choose cars and enter 700, and the statistical key figure that you need to enter is floor spacing. Enter floor space for both. Now you can save it. Now let us check if that can solve the problem. But let me check something first. 11. Okay, and let me check the period distribution. Go to period evaluation, choose this. This option can allow us to see the distribution by period. So go to floor space, period 1 is 700. Okay, 700 and 300. That's good. Alright, 700 and okay, let's come here now. Let us run the assessment again. Period and closing assessment, rental. Still it doesn't solve the problem. The segment contains no receivers. Check. Okay, let me check once again and come back. Okay, let me save this as part 1, and once I found out the reason why the system is not running the assessment successfully, it says no valid receivers is found, I will create a part 2, and then you can continue with the part 2 to understand the reason.